From New York City, this is Entertainment Weekly, the show. This week, we're checking in with the cast of The Florida Project, taking a meltdown memory lane with Robert Patrick, and chatting with the cast of 3 Billboards Outside Ebbing, Missouri. Plus, the latest Entertainment Weekly is all about Outlander, so we'll talk about our favorite guilty pleasure. So come on down from the Highlands, people, because the show starts now. Welcome to the show. I'm Lola Ganaikin. It's been a big week in pop culture, so let's dive in, shall we? First up, as you know, Outlander is on the cover of the latest Entertainment Weekly. And as the season 3 finale approaches, let's take a look at all the places Claire and Jamie have gone this season. Up first, the season starts off with Claire returning to Boston in 1948, while Jamie is thrown in prison back in Scotland in 1746. A full 20 years later, Claire returns to Scotland and travels back in time, where she reunites with Jamie in a print shop in Edinburgh. Jamie and Claire then travel to Selkie Island in northern Scotland, which brings us to the exciting second half of season 3. And as we know from the book Voyager, Jamie and Claire then travel to France, where they board the Artemis en route to the West Indies. The crew of the Artemis hop islands in the Caribbean, run into some pirates, and eventually land in Jamaica, where they crash a governor's ball. And now we don't want to give away the ending of the season, but we do know our heroes end up in America in the South for the next book in the series. Entertainment Weekly visited the show's set where production on season 4 is underway, recreating 18th century North Carolina. No matter where the show goes next, Outlander fans are sure to follow. Thanks for the great memories, Outlander season 3, and here's to many more happy and steamy travels. Up next, Tyrese Gibson has ended his beef with Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. Gibson was furious that The Rock was given his own Fast and the Furious spinoff, and he vented about it all over social media. Now, these are the first co-stars to have a public feud, and they won't be the last. For instance, we now know that Sarah Jessica Parker and Kim Cattrall won't be grabbing Cosmos anytime soon. The Sex and the City actresses recently traded shots in the press after Cattrall declined to appear in a 3rd installment of the franchise. At least she didn't dump him with a Post-it note. Joan Crawford and Bette Davis had such a battle on the set of Whatever Happened to Baby Jane that Ryan Murphy made a series about it called Feud. It received a slew of Emmy nominations, and that catfight was bad for morale, but it was good for TV. Apparently, Max wasn't the only one who got mad on the set of Mad Max Fury Road. Tom Hardy and Charlize Theron butted heads, according to their co-star Zoe Kravitz, and Kravitz spilled all the beans about their spat on Watch What Happens Live. Take a look.
Did you witness any beef between Charlize and Tom Hardy on the set of Mad Max?
Huh. Yeah.
Kravitz tried to downplay it, but things got so hot on the set, it looked something like this. It was announced that Beyoncé will appear as Nala in a live-action remake of The Lion King. After the success of Jungle Book and Beauty and the Beast, Disney is planning star-studded remakes of many of their classics. So that got us thinking, what other pop stars would we like to see in a Disney spectacular? Snow White could be played by Lorde. Prince Charming would obviously be Harry Styles. The Broom and Fantasia would be played by Fantasia Barrino. Yeah? And as for Bambi, when Beyonce's done with The Lion King, she can star in Bambi-Yonce. All right, we'll be right back with more show. All right, Brooklyn Prince, you're going to open the show for me, aren't you?
Oh, yes. Hi, I'm Brooklyn Prince, here with Bria Venaitia and Lola O.
Right. And we're here to talk about your new movie,
The Florida Project.
That's right. So let's get this party started, shall we?
Woo!
Woo! Okay, let's talk about the film. It follows a young single mother and her 6-year-old daughter and their lives of poverty living in motels near Disney World. Were you familiar with this world at all?
No, I wasn't. I actually lived in Miami for a little bit before I had moved back to New York. When Sean had flown me out for the audition, he drove me around and kind of showed me where we would be filming, and he introduced me to some of the women that lived there. And I was just so in shock. I went back to my hotel room and cried because I just didn't know any of that existed or was there. And I'm just so happy that he chose to shed a light on important issues that are going on.
Talk to me about your relationship off camera, because you play her mother Clearly, she's just lovely, brilliant, precocious, adorable. I would imagine you immediately fell in love with her, sharing cheek kisses.
I did. Honestly, from the first second we met, we just had this instant connection and we just genuinely loved each other so much. We didn't have to try. It was just there. And then we did maybe 3 weeks of classes before we started filming. So we did workshops together every day and just built the relationship, and we played Barbies in between takes. And she's just so much fun. She just made me smile every single day, and I love her a lot.
I love Bria a lot because she's very supportive, and one time she had to get like super mad at me, and she's like, I'm not mad at you, and it's just pretend.
And Willem Dafoe also stars in this film. He plays the hotel manager. What, if anything, did he teach you about the craft?
He's so amazing, and I'm so shocked that he's been so there for us through this whole experience, because you never know what to expect with someone of his caliber. And from the first day he came to set, anytime I was nervous or anytime I just needed a little pep talk, he was always there and always so helpful, so confident in each of our individual characters. And even right now, before every big Q&A where I get nervous, he always pull me aside and be like, you good? Is everything okay? Like, and always just gives me really, really good advice. I'm so thankful for him.
Brooklyn, you were discovered at an audition, right, in Orlando. But Bria, you were discovered on Instagram?
Yes, I was.
Okay, so the filmmaker Sean Baker reached out to you on Instagram. Did you think you were being catfished?
When I was living in Miami for a few months, I didn't have a lot of friends, so I was really bored. And I literally would sit in my house and make these videos of me like cracking jokes and dancing around in an alien suit and just being myself. And it made him laugh. And I don't know how he stumbled upon it, but it entertained him, it made him laugh, he kept thinking about it, and he trusted me enough to bring this to life, and I'm just so, I can't believe it. I thank him every day because he took a really big chance.
Now, Brooklyn, you get into a lot of mischief in this film, and your character, sometimes she uses really bad words. Yeah. What was that like for you, getting to use those bad words?
I love it. I was like, okay. What word do I have to say? I'll say it in 1 minute. And then like, when I said it, like my Mimi, she is a very, very strong Christian. When she watched the movie, she's like, oh my gosh.
Oh my God.
And then like, and because my family is like, we're very, very strong Christians, so we don't use those words. But my Kiki was like, yeah, girl.
You were 6 when you made the movie. You're 7 now. You've got a whole life ahead of you. But do you know what you want to be when you grow up?
A paleontologist, and still an actress, because I've been acting since I was 2. So I still want to do it, and a dancer.
And a dancer.
Ooh.
Thank you both for being here.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you for having us.
The Florida Project is in theaters now. Welcome back. In honor of our Outlander cover, we're going to leap to another epic about time travel. Robert Patrick came by recently to discuss his past roles, including T-1000 in Terminator 2, and he melted our hearts like liquid metal. Take a look.
Hi, I'm Robert Patrick, and I've played many roles over the years, and I'm going to tell you about some of them in a piece called Patrick Makes Perfect. Die Hard 2 was a huge moment in my career. It's the first time I ever got a studio movie. I get shot by, I believe, Mr. Willis, Bruce Willis himself. And they said, you know, cut. And I had done enough movies to know that you cannot really move until everybody's got photographs of you and everything. Well, I ended up laying there for about, I don't know, 3 hours. And at one point, Willis comes by, and I remember looking up at him, kind of out of the corner of my eye, and he looks down and he goes, hey, we gotta hurry up. I think this guy's actually getting rigor mortis over here. T-1000, obviously it gave me my career.
Are you the legal guardian of John Connor?
I had a huge wrought iron rod that I was taking into Arnold's back, and he had a prosthetic he was wearing, and I missed the mark I hit, and I hit him right in his real arm. And James Cameron yelled, "Cut!" And I see him looking back over his shoulder up at me. "Robert, that was my real arm." Looked at him and realized that we still had another fight scene to do, and payback was going to be a bitch.
Hasta la vista, baby.
Wayne's World was actually Lorne Michaels' idea, and Mike Myers was against it because he didn't get the joke. He was like, I don't get it. And I went and saw the movie at the Man's Hollywood Chinese Theater the night it premiered with a real live audience.
Have you seen this boy?
It got the biggest laugh. And I literally get a call, somehow it gets forwarded to me, and it's Arnold Schwarzenegger. And the conversation kind of went like this. "Robert, I saw what you did in the Wayne's World. I want you to recreate the role of the T-1000 in my film, The Last Action Hero. You're working with Sharon Stone." And I said something like, "Well, how much what are you gonna pay me, man? I mean, how much you gonna pay me?" "Oh, you would be paid scale." So, Copland working with, the cast we worked with was phenomenal. Doing this first scene with Jimmy Mangold, and here we are. We've got Harvey Keitel, Bobby De Niro, Arthur Nescarelli, and myself. I'm just petrified because it's my first day. I'm watching these guys and I go, "Oh my God." Sylvester Stallone wanders in and looks at me like, "What the f is up?" And I'm like, I don't know, man. It was just an amazing acting class to sit there and watch, and I loved doing it. But that set me up for The Sopranos.
I like to play a little. A little. Forget it. This game's not for you.
When I did that role, it did open up a lot of doors for me in Hollywood. It sort of changed the perception of me. X-Files. Chris Carter offered me the chance to come in and fight for the role of John Doggett.
I appreciate all the help I can get.
Doggett, you're a good agent.
I got to work with David a few times, and there wasn't a lot of interest in me coming in and taking over that role, or filling in his shoes, so to speak. Geez, I haven't even done anything, and these people are already against it. So it was an interesting time. But we won them over, and we got 2 seasons out of it. Scorpion is a great show for me right now. I do a lot of the stunts on the show. I've done some fantastic stunts, the greatest stunts I've ever done.
Oh, crap.
Gnarly stuff, Tom Cruise type stunts, you know what I mean? I did a fight scene with a stuntman, and we're doing the scene, and I'm throwing the punch, and I've got a shield, and I'm blocking, and I'm pushing him at the same time, and I hit my eye, and gave me a nice black eye, a nice shiner. Can you see it? Let me tell you about lore. Of all the things I've done, I've only done a few period pieces in my career, and I love period pieces, because one of the things I didn't really mention about the way I approach acting to me is wardrobe, it's makeup, it's 90% of what I do.
We look through glass darkly, Isaac. For now.
I got to wear mutton chops. I'm looking at pictures, and I'm meeting with the wardrobe, and I remember I was going over to Western costume, I'm wearing all this stuff, and I'm going, I've done the whole beard thing, and I don't like all that glue on my face. See if you can find any pictures of guys that just have mutton chops. I want to go with mutton chops. By God, we did. Catch Lore on Amazon, and catch Scorpion on CBS Monday nights.
Welcome back. I'm here with 3 actors from the film 3 Billboards Outside Ebbing, Missouri. Clark Peters, Abby Cornish, and Caleb Landry Jones. Welcome to the show, guys. This movie addresses rape, murder, police brutality, racism, white rage, terminal cancer, and yet it's laugh out loud funny. So how do you each go about explaining this film to people?
And I think as an audience member, that you find yourself so engaged in this film and reacting to this film, and then you find yourself thinking about the way you react to it, right? Because it puts so many things right in front of you.
Causes you to look inside, causes you to look at yourself in a lot of different ways.
And the people around you too, and the society we live in. And I mean, it'd be nice to think that this was momentary. It'd be nice to think that this was a commentary on right now, but it's not. It's a commentary on humanity for hundreds of years.
Time.
Yeah, for all time. And you'd like to think that this might be a part of some sort of change, but it also is ambiguous in a way too, but it still gives you a slight glimmer of hope.
Can we talk about Frances McDormand in this role? I mean, she is a force of nature, and she has to do a tricky thing of being a grieving mother, a kick-ass vigilante, and also a devastating survivor of domestic violence. And again, in addition to being extremely laugh-out-loud funny, what was it like watching her work?
She's such an artist, and watching her construct her character from the inside out was really kind of magical. And that factory suit that she wears, that was her idea. Her haircut, like the undercut, that was her idea. She wore pretty much no makeup most of the movie, if not all of the movie, and I think there's something very refreshing about that. I mean, we see it more with male actors, but less so with female actresses, where they just dive in like that, and just not only are their hearts and their souls out there, but also just their physicality, and she embodied it in such a beautiful human way with so much vulnerability but strength. I mean, it's a really incredible performance, probably one of the best I've seen.
Abby, for me, it was really liberating seeing a woman be that unapologetic about her mission to avenge the death of her daughter. And she didn't care if anyone in the town liked her at all. That was incredible.
No, it's really amazing. And there's this one scene we were discussing last night where she has this amazing monologue where she draws a comparison between the Bloods and the Crips and the church. And I mean, that alone is incredibly thought-provoking. And
Red takes a bit of a beating and keeps on ticking.
Well, the stunt man, John, he took the beating.
And you took a bit of a beating in Get Out as well, so.
He stomped on the floor. He didn't stomp on my head. I was outside when he went, ugh!
Are you drawn to physical abuse, Caleb? I have to ask.
I like falling down a lot.
Clark, you're drawn to roles that involve law enforcement. You were on a little show that I heard of back in the day called The Wire.
I never expected to be there that long, quite honestly, knowing Baltimore. I was looking at every script, expecting to see the lines, "Did you hear what happened to Stephen?" Fortunately, that never happened. It's not that I pursue those kind of roles, it's that those are the roles that come. I prefer being as diverse as I can. I don't like being pigeonholed, but in America, if you find a niche, hang on to it. So it's taken me a while to understand that that's how things work here, but yes. And in this case, I sort of felt like, I was saying this the other night, I sort of felt like Sidney Poitier in Mr. Tibbs, it had that kind of thing. And for this piece to be written by someone other than an American, gives us a really interesting perspective.
Do you think his outsider perspective helped shape this script in a way that?
Absolutely, because he not being spiritually invested in the story, in the history, in the neighborhood or the community, allows a lot of that. I think his humor, the humor that we get, is him commenting on how silly something might be at some point in time, or how ridiculous something might be, or you were referencing that the Crips and the Bloods, that isn't just here. He makes that's a universal problem. And the way that he delivers it is like, it's the stupidest thing in the world, isn't it? Is it not? Is it not?
Yeah, no,
yes. So again, you walk away out of one of those scenes thinking, that made a lot of sense, and it was funny.
Hey guys, thank you so much for being here.
Thank
3
you.
Billboards Outside Ebbing, Missouri is in theaters now. Check it out. Welcome back. Comedian and writer Iliza Shlesinger stopped by recently to offer fans a little girl logic, and she was smart and funny beyond reason. Check it out.
Iliza Shlesinger here, author of the new book, Girl Logic, The Genius and the Absurdity, and this is my editor, Blanche. And I'm gonna use the girl logic from my book to answer some questions from young lady fans in a segment I called, Hey There, Iliza. Who named that? Like, what? Okay, first question. This is from Jessica in New York. Hey there, Iliza. I like to look well-dressed at the office, but all the prep it takes to get ready in the morning makes me late for work. What's more important, looking your best or being on time? Well, Jessica, I'd like to live in a world where you don't have to choose. So your girl logic is gonna tell you to get dressed and put a lot of effort into it, but your girl logic will also tell you that you're gonna be judged for that effort. So the answer is, you should always be on time and not look like a monster. Whatever version of that works for you is what works for you. Unless you live in LA, and then looking like a garbage can means that you have a lot of money. Next question from Fran in Pennsylvania. Hey Iliza, I've been thinking of starting some performance classes, but I have paralyzing stage fright and a decent amount of social anxiety. However, I don't want to live my life in regret. Do you have any advice as to how to push through these fears? But I've got news for you. Life is always passing you by. Like by listening and watching me right now, you're missing like super hot dudes at the grocery store. If you really want to challenge yourself, that's another thing, but don't take classes. Don't do comedy. It's really hard. Frankly, I don't need the competition. Claire from Rhode Island is up next. I want to start taking charge more at work, but I'm sort of intimidated by the people above me, and to be honest, I'm afraid of having my advancement efforts shot down. Got any tips? The honest truth is, there will always be people in this world who hate you for trying. Your girl logic also tells you to like settle down, don't be too demanding. Men might not like that, other women might fear that. But nobody ever got any shit done by sitting down and being quiet. Okay, last question. It's from Lisa in California. My question is for Blanche. What's your secret for aging gracefully in a superficial industry that puts so much emphasis on beauty and dog youth? Well, Lisa, I think you'll find if you look deep into her eyes, her big brown velvety pools of eyes, you'll see that the answer was always in your heart. Just kidding, dogs don't really age. So, I don't know, good genetics, good bone structure, licking your body, having a fish mouth. For more of my thoughts on things, buy my book, Girl Logic, which is on sale in stores everywhere now.
Thanks, Iliza. That's our show. Thanks to all my guests. And don't forget to grab the Outlander issue of Entertainment Weekly on newsstands now and at EW.com. Bye.